Oh. And Dave fucks it up yet again. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, I had a Monty Python flashback.
Oh, boy.
The-
Really?
Oh, come on, man. The two guards from the Swamp Castle and Holy Grail.
No. Are you over there? Are you over there farting in people's general directions again?
No, that's the French.
Oh.
No, the Swamp Castle guards, the guys that couldn't follow the simple instruction. Right, so nobody gets to leave except the prince. No. The prince has to stay. Right. And you have to watch him. And so on like that for like 15 minutes of hilarity.
Oh, boy.
Those guards. Don't tell me you don't remember that scene.
I remember that scene.
And you guard him. The prince. Well, yes. Who else? Oh, I thought you wanted me to guard him over there. I mean, that'd be silly. God guarding another god. No. Guard the prince. Right. And make sure he doesn't lead the broom. Wait, what was that? Oh, wait. If we go with him, can he leave? No. Only you just stay. Right.
Oh, boy. I remember that now that you reminded me.
Yeah. The prince in question being the effeminate one who kept wanting to sing his problems away.
All right. I managed to just...
No singing. There'll be no singing, yeah.
Good thing it's like all internalized. You good?
I'm good. Like our opening.
Why am I not hearing you,
Dave? Anyway.
There you go. Did you mute yourself? Can you hear me?
I don't think so. You got me?
I got you.
All right. I think I just started leaning back too much.
I love it. So yeah, my Sprite went everywhere. I'm saddened now.
Well, that's why you always got to keep a 12-pack around. So there's always more Sprite.
Still good. Okay.
But according to the Sprite savior, James E., if you're going to put them in the fridge, take them out of the can because you don't want the cardboard getting cold because then it starts degrading in strength.
How's that happen? I mean...
Dude, it's Cornette. Sometimes you just don't try to get into science discussions with him, especially when he's giving instructions to his wife. There and go, okay, Jim, whatever you need to say to move on with your life.
Whatever works for you, Mr. Cornette. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Just go with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Especially when you're in his own castle. I mean, come on, you know. It's...
Yeah, I get the point there. So what have you gotten to read this week since you're not, with work and life and all that?
Well, I've been rereading the Toriko manga because I got 2 volumes in, so I was back reading since I haven't read it for a while, as the volumes are released months apart now, and I waited for a double shot while I was reading some other stuff.
How long do those take to re-release now?
The last 4 or 5 are about every 4th month. 3 to 4 months. So,
Huh. All right then.
but there's after the 2 I just got in, there's 1 more in August, and then that series will be done.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, there was a while there they were releasing it like every other month, but then when they started getting closer to the end, they started spreading it back out again. So,
Oh.
but yes, by the end of the week, I will have those read, and I will be that 1 volume away from finishing the series,
That's not bad then.
which will drop in August.
But that's Japanimation for you, huh?
Yep. Bad part is I am old enough to remember that's what it was actually called.
Yeah, someone said they should bring that term back. I'm like, if it makes you feel better.
Funny part is, my part of the world, that term actually never died.
I could see that. I could.
It pretty much was only used by like ignorant local businesses.
Yeah.
I think as of about 8 years ago, there was when it finally shut down. We had a video rental store that still used the term Japanimation on their in-store genre labeling of shelves.
Well, was it like a Blockbuster or something like that, or was it just a local?
No, it was a video warehouse. So small, not a full national chain, but not a single store business. One of those small chains.
Oh, I could see that. Excuse me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I do remember way back when I was in middle school, the comic shop about a block and a half down from my school had that in the front window as one of their big
Japanimation.
all people in points. We don't just have American comics, we have Japanimation. Problem is, back then, Japanimation was pretty much consisted of Sailor Moon, badly fan dubbed, or not fan dubbed, but that. God, who's the group that had a DBZ before Funimation, like Pioneer or something like that?
It was Pioneer. It was Pioneer.
Yeah, they did like the first 13 episodes of Dragon Ball and like the first 3 DBZ movies, and that was it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was some.
Yeah, that and a smattering of tentacle hentai.
Oh, and Akira. Don't forget Akira.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No. Heaven forbid. Don't forget Akira. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much a hipster douche test. If you use the phrase, you can't be a real fan if you haven't seen and love Akira, then you're a hipster douche and shut the fuck up.
Yes. Yeah, even most anime and manga fans are like, no. No.
Yeah, that was Akira, for those of you who don't know animes, Akira was like the Watchmen of anime. There was a long stretch of time where that was the thing everybody knew as a reference. So everybody said it was. So everybody insisted it was their favorite thing because they thought it gave them instant cred.
Yeah, more or less. All right, so I guess I get to discuss all the fun stuff I get to do because you go out and play normie.
Well, only because I'm paid to be out there.
Oh yeah, there's that. If it wasn't for the paycheck, you'd probably be in your basement, wouldn't you? Normies.
Probably not. My basement is technically just the unfinished area beneath the porch. There's a lot of bugs down there.
Yeah, I could see that. But okay.
And it gets cold in winter.
All right. Man, I got, as you saw this week, you saw CJ with his Wolverine Witchblade, which, yeah, I forgot about that comic. I really did.
I did, but to be fair, I try not to think about Witchblade too much.
Eh, well, according to others, Vamp Blade's the better series out of the two, and even though there's some cheesecake in Vamp Blade, I know that's the particular cheesecake you like.
You know, it's not even that. It's just Witchblade was one of those things that was so incredibly early 90s
Yeah.
that it hurts to go back and look at nowadays because it's like, oh my God, what were we smoking?
Yeah, and I'm not sure the Ron Mars version is much better, is it? You just see that and you're like, screw you, old man. We know you're a dick. There's no denying you're a dick.
Oh yeah, no. Most people at modern Marvel have like nothing good to say about Mars.
But he still hangs around and virtue signals all the time, which I could care less. It's like, yep, have a nice life, buddy. Or whatever's left of your life, you know. It's like, wish no ill upon Ron Mars. It's just, it's whatever. Uh, Moon's been doing pretty good. He's getting through college, so he said he might pick up a little bit more of the stuff. So, and and what did you think of the Gold Digger stuff that he did? Fred Kelly, I know, or Fred Perry. I know he's an acquired taste. The Gold Digger series.
Yeah, well written review. Well written review. Not sure it's my kind of series, but you know, you definitely get a sense of what you're going to get in for if you dive in.
And that's, I mean, that's the direction we've been going in with the entire site too. And one of our partners in there, TLM29, which we know him as Robin, he does the Rainbow Comics and Press, and he's kind of a one man show, but he's covering from the southern part of the world in good old Australia. So yeah, he's kind of our partner in comics because he covers a lot more of the modern stuff these days, what he gets his hands on, and we're kind of, all right, here's what we can grab. Not so much that here's what we can grab, but you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. I mean, I read a decent fraction of the current Marvel.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thing is, it's like, look, 1,001 people per square mile are talking about X-Men and Spider-Man on the internet.
Yeah,
it's
that's a fair assessment.
Not really anything I can add too much of a unique voice to that discussion on an issue by issue review basis. That's why I'm kind of sticking to my Ninja Turtle crossover reviews, and I'll probably get more into the regular Turtles comic as go back and review the arcs as I slowly go through the trades. That Turtles universe I read that I was telling you about, that was well done. I like that.
I saw that in the they are coming out with a new issue this coming tomorrow actually for new comic book day.
Free comic book day?
Or new. They had free comic book day 2 weeks ago, man.
Okay.
Although they did have a
they changed the day every year. I forget which one it is. Remember, I don't have a local shop to go pick anything up for.
Yeah, you got to drive about a couple hours.
Nah, pretty much just go on. For the free stuff, I pretty much just go online and get uploads after the fact. I mean, it's not like I'm taking money from anybody. They're free samples.
Well, yeah, the free comic book day stuff. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're bonus books, so it's not really a piracy debate thing. But
Yeah, and they do. Yeah, they do the free comic book day stuff. They do have it for your per usal.
yeah, but yeah, the Turtles universe was the spin-off IDW series. But I like that the first arc they did, they made that point of, we introduced this Madame Null character in Mutanimals mini, but none of the main turtles were in that mini. Let's go ahead and have them encounter her and her loyal pawns here,
Yeah,
and at the same time introduce a new sub antagonist. Because
yeah.
that is one of the things I love about the IDW take on turtles is it's a web of interconnected rivalries and relationships.
Since we are on IDW, what do you think about them purchasing the Power Rangers? Are you kind of like the Power Rangers faithful, where everyone's doom and gloom, or are you just going to be like, oh, they can't do much worse than Saban?
Eh, I think if they do what they've done with a good chunk of their
Or not
licensed,
IDW, Hasbro.
yeah, Hasbro. I was about to say IDW had Power Rangers before because they were doing some stuff, but
Yeah, and then they moved over to Boom.
yeah, and then Boom did some stuff. But I mean, the key with all of it is, and again, the best IDW comics or licensed comics prove
Yeah,
this point. If you get a writer and editor that are fans of the material, but who also are capable of being analytical and professional about it, then you can create good expanded universe stuff.
that sounds fair. That really
That's the
does.
big problem a lot of folks encounter, especially with the big two. This is where you get really bad runs with specific writers. It's like, well, this writer's great. I don't know why they just had a bad run on this book. I'm like, because you can totally tell they were so fanboying over it that they weren't actually trying to write anything high quality. They were just doing their little fanfic smart routine.
Yeah, more or less. I I did put up that review that book June, which as I said, I found that one kind of on a lark. Really, I was looking at the digital first section and it said, "Hey, you might be interested in this book."
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, I saw that. I was poking over that review earlier.
what did you think of that one? She's a one woman show.
I mean, anybody that can, do all the sides of something and it be on the visual and written side coherent. I'm for. Mostly because in the long term, if you can do both sides of it, you can always specialize in one or the other as needed for whatever projects the people that can pay you good money are willing to give you. John Byrne's a great example of this. He's done the writing and art himself for his stuff. Sometimes he's been a pure writer. Sometimes he's been a pure artist.
Yeah, and also Comixology said, "All right, your comics have arrived." Checking my mail. Hold on, let me.
Yay!
I've got Usagi Yoshimo, the Hidden #3. Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman #4, Crude #2, and No Justice #2. I want to see how this plays out.
Oh, that reminds me. Um, did I show you that new Yojimbo Turtles crossover one shot?
No, you didn't. I mean, if you've got it, go ahead and review it. I will not object because I'm starting to
Well, I mean,
like
if you're
Stan's.
reading Usagi anyway, the point is I want to give you the file so you can peruse it yourself if you're interested in things Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, I could probably look at it.
Yeah. As I said, it's a
I,
one shot. It's not like it's a big time investment.
oh, yeah.
Um, the big thing I like about it is they did an interesting continuity nod. I'm going to
Oh,
go ahead and give you these spoilers because it's not a major thing. You ready?
all right.
Now, as you know, there's a long tradition of these two properties crossing over.
Yeah.
Well, they reference that by saying this is the Yojimbo or Usagi from other continuities, but these are the IDW turtles, so it's their first meeting with him.
Okay, I could see that. That makes sense.
There's one Usagi encountering multiple turtles. I like that idea. That good. It doesn't impact the story greatly, but for the long-term fans, it makes a good throwaway line of them going, yes, this is the reason we're doing this one shot, because it's kind of tradition between the comics and the different TV shows. And this is how we're handling it. That, oh, these are the turtles, but these are not the turtles I have adventured with before. So, a little thing, but for people like us, that can be a thing. So,
yeah, a little inside tidbit. Okay, I could see that.
yeah.
What did
But
and Stan Sakai? He's also a one man show himself.
oh yes, yes.
That's what people forget too. Is that
One man who's been doing Usagi for how long?
oh my lord, he's going on decades.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it came out last year.
Yeah. Um, checking on this too. Yeah, over in this Discord, John De La Rose is saying that Chuck Dixon's Avalon, he's got the script to it. To Chuck, Chuck's doing that book with Arkhaven, which is Box Day's line of comics.
Yeah.
He said right now that he did get to read the script, that Chuck has. He said it's Chuck Dixon. It's awesome stuff. I'm like, well, yeah. They're still in line art right now, folks, so it's going to be a while before Avalon comes out. Which, excuse me, I want to say probably to be fair, 3 months is probably what you're looking at line art. In line art, then inking, and then the coloring's probably another couple of weeks or so. And then you get lettering, complete product.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be a little while.
and Chuck's only talked about doing the Avalon series for how long now?
Sorry.
I mean, what, a good while since he's left DC?
Well, I will say long enough that he was pushing on. We're gonna have to turn this into a Duke Nukem type meme.
Yeah, it was, and I don't think a lot of it was Chuck's fault either. I think you find yourself quote unquote locked out of comics, and when you
Yeah.
find yourself locked out of comics, you're just like, whatevs.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'll see if I can find that now that I know what that is. Turtles and Usagi. Hell,
Yes.
what else is there?
I will say our not so much personal friend, but person we like to keep track of. Brian Cronin actually had a kind of interesting article about an old Marvel mini.
Huh.
You remember that one, Vengeance?
Kinda. It's been a while.
Yeah, really odd. Basically, had a bunch of random villains in it, and it was actually I know we had discussed it before, but it was the technical debut of America Chavez
Yeah.
back before she had any kind of origin, let alone the god awful expanded reinterpretation of her recent solo book that nobody bought.
Yeah, except for the guys that were roasting it, and one guy that roasted it turned it into nearly $300,000 fucking dollars. So
True, which is probably more than she got made off that book. But
that's isn't that some fucking irony right there that Richard C. Meyer turned that turn making fun of comic books into nearly 300,000. I don't know if it's exactly. I think he was in the 270s.
yeah,
Nearly $300,000, and you've got all of these comic pros going, ah! You know, and you're just like, really?
yeah. Yeah, let's see. Chuck Dixon left DC in 2008. So he's just been doing sporadic indie work since then. So yeah, basically 10 years since he's been freed from DC to work on this Avalon project.
Oh yeah. All right, I got another one for you. Uh,
But no, anyway, well, let me finish my thought though.
okay, take a thought.
What made the Vengeance mini article about the Vengeance miniseries interesting? It explains why it seemed so haphazard in a lot of places.
Okay.
The entire thing was written because somebody at Marvel really, really liked a bunch of pinups. No, they had this guy and they'd given him permission. He didn't work directly for Marvel. I'm not going to throw the specific names out because I do want to encourage people to go hunt this article down for themselves and read it. But basically, he had permission from Marvel to draw little posters of their characters in published little poster books. Well, he had a series of them of the different villains that an editor at Marvel just fell so much absolutely in love with. He took a handful of them and said, okay, write a mini series where each issue is about the villain. And the picture will be the cover.
Huh. Okay.
So they basically wrote a story to justify the cover art, which itself was a side project for somebody else.
Yeah.
Hence why every issue is essentially a different standalone fight against a different villain.
Yeah.
And in the last issue, they try to tie together and justify. Because it was one of those things that was worked backwards.
Yeah, art first, then story. Yeah,
not even full art, just a bunch of really cool-looking covers of different villains.
Yeah, Robin's talking about he's reading through DC Nation, issue 0, the free comic book that they put out.
Yeah.
He's really, really disliking how those Man of Steel dialogue bubbles are done, and I'm like, yeah, the art wasn't as good as it should have been for a Superman comic, and Bendis is taking over as the script doctor, the writer.
Yep.
You're just.
But the question is, the big question all us long-term fans want to know. Did they bring back the post-resurrection mullet?
No, I don't think they did. No, that's what I'm.
That was a horrible look.
Oh my! But
It wasn't. It
wasn't the greatest look.
It wasn't Superman blue, but especially when he was running around as Clark Kent and doing the whole friggin' 90 hipsters ponytail thing. And I'm like, dude, your whole cover identity is you're supposed to be this submissive nerd type. Why do you now look like a dude bro?
Kind of did, didn't he? But no,
especially since they were drawing him, so he was showing off his physique more often. I loved how they covered that right after the Crisis reboot, where it was like, yeah, he gets his suits. He intentionally buys his suits like 2 sizes too big, so nobody asks him why he has the build of a superhero.
I could see that.
That's the kind of crap that John Byrne came up with in that miniseries.
Or he could have went to the local Men's Warehouse and gotten a suit 2 sizes too big.
But that's what I'm saying. Point is, he wore his clothes oversized, so you couldn't get a sense of this body figure shape.
Yeah, I could see that. All right. So yeah. I'm surprised you're not. I'm surprised you're not making fun of my comic choices for this week. You know, Usagi, Brave and the Bold.
I got nothing wrong with Usagi. As I said, Stan Sakai's been running it for years, and unlike certain Savage Eric, Stan's still doing it because people want him to.
Agreed.
Like, he'll go on periods where he's not writing the book, and people just look at him and be like, dude, you should do some more Usagi Yojimbo. Really?
And I'm sure he's all, let me take a vacation, let me chill.
Let me finish my sabbatical. Like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But you're gonna come back and do more issues eventually, right?
He's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. But that's the funniest part about Stan Sakai is that he can go on a sabbatical. He can do a sabbatical for like 2 weeks, and then he's itching to go back to it. So we can't say he doesn't want to do it. He knows he's got his fans.
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like he's still doing it because there is still an audience for it. It's like, this is not a, hey, I'm editor somewhere and this is my pet project, so I'm going to keep it on the boards here. This is what I do.
So I just like doing this. People are paying me to do this. That's kind of a win-win. I want to do this. They're paying me, so okay, let's do this.
But I do have a feeling if the day ever came, people were just like, you know what, we're done with the Samurai Rabbit. He would be okay with it too. Like, he wouldn't be like, no, I need 5 more years to tie up my stories. He'd just be like, all right, give me a 6-issue arc. I pretty much always had. I pretty much had the finale in mind for the last 10 years. I've just been waiting for the right time.
And you know what? I think that's probably how Stan will handle it. He'll be like, okay, he's like, all right, folks, just give me about 6 months. Give me a 6-month arc.
Yeah, got to tie it up so we can all have closure.
And you know what? I think people would go with it. They'll be like, okay. Yeah, people will be like, well, all right. It's like, yeah, 6 more months. It's like, you gave us decades, so yeah, we'll give you that much. But no, yeah, the Brave and the Bold, I didn't think I would like it so much because I will admit that I'm not the person that's into Irish mythology at all. I'm just kind of like,
it's all how it's handled.
Yeah, Liam Sharp does it fairly excellently, actually.
Yeah.
And he's not a jerk online to anyone. He's just like, here's my book. You want to read my book? Okay. You have questions about my book? All right. Ask away.
Besides, it's DC. They're gonna do a Brave and the Bold book, so
Yeah, and
it's one of those titles they won't let die. So it's like, might as well at least do something new and different with it.
And this is a bit different. Crude started out kind of slow for me, but they're just getting into the story, which again, Kieran Shake, our immortal enemy, is just like, this book is filled with toxic masculinity. Whereas you and I are just like, fuck, let's read it. You too have toxic masculinity. No, actually, some of the exes say I'm kind of low on testosterone there. I need a refill. No. Rob Liefeld art.
My shoulders are the size of Rhode Island, each. But my feet are the size of individual molecules.
Yeah. But Rob Liefeld or Erica Henderson, I think we'll take Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, and no justice. I want to see where this ride goes. I really do. And then I'll also have yeah, he goes, if he hates it, he can catch him. I'm going to ask, what makes you think he hasn't? But no, and also I'm probably going to grab the Star Trek book, the Mirror Universe one. The Mirror Universe, I'm with you whenever you talk about the Mirror Universe. It takes the right kind of writer to do Mirror Universe.
The right kind of writer, and it takes the you really have to plan it to be a short thing, because eventually in the long term the whole alt-U thing tends to wear down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. Everybody's different, from what we expect them to be. We've been getting that for 20 issues now. Can we go home?
Moving along.
And that is, I'm going to go on record, that is one of my problems with Marvel Comics as a company over the decades, is they have this fantastic fetish with time travel and alt-U stories and characters. Like, it's at the point where I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't care. It's like,
all right, which universe pisses you off about Marvel?
Well, no, it's the idea that you cannot read any given Marvel book that lasts more than a year without eventually encountering some kind of time travel or alternate counterpart storyline. It's like every character of Marvel has to have one of those every few years. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Fantastic Four were horrible with it. It was like every other villain, it was like, oh yeah, turns out, dun dun dun, I'm actually an alternate reality version of Willie Lumpkin the Mailman. But now, I'm a horrible dictator. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the X-Men are the worst.
They really are.
Cable, Bishop, Rachel, 3 characters who are time travelers.
Yeah.
Now, yes, technically Cable was born in our time, but taken there as an infant. But come on, he grew up in the future, and he won't stop going back and forth in time. It's one of the reasons why I wish they'd quit giving him solo books, because every time they get ready to start a new solo, they tease us that they kill him off, and then he shows up a year later. Oh, no, I just went back into the future for a while to see how things were doing. But now I'm back with some bigger guns.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. I really hope they downplay or eliminate the time travel aspect of Cable and Deadpool movies. Like that would just... It just makes the character so much more tolerable when you don't have to hear, yes, but in the future where I'm from, the Ascani taught me, did they teach you to get over yourself? Fortunately, except for an occasional Excalibur arc, Rachel prefers to stay in the present and downplay the fact she was born here. Which is one of the reasons her character is tolerable.
Well, you can see that. What's the other? What's?
Hell, that may have been the one cheesy gimmick Chikara never did. I don't know. You followed them more than me.
They actually haven't done it yet. They've done the grenade gimmick, which was okay. They've done the throwbacks gimmick. I don't know what all gimmicks they have done. I mean, there's been thousands of them. There's been the colony. There's been aliens. There's been a.
That's what I'm saying. I heard they did aliens, but
the ants, the colony.
Oh yeah, there's been about 40 versions of the colony.
Yeah, soldier ant, worker ant, pink ant.
Well, at one point they actually had like the evil ant stable versus the good ant stable.
Yeah, they did.
And I mean, I don't care because like they're Chikara. That's like one of their iconic gimmicks is the ants. So it's like that's their thing. That's fine.
Or Delirious.
Hey, I still say that gimmick was worth it just so a few years later, once it got over, hearing Chris Jericho interview Delirious, and apparently he understands Delirious perfectly.
Yeah.
That was epic. I know you've seen that video clip.
I remember that.
I know. I'm excited too. Who else is going to be there? I love that guy.
And everyone's just like...
see Chris fighting with all his professional talent, not to laugh his ass off. Because he was just having so much fun messing with Delirious.
8-bit. 8-bit. Live in the now, 8-bit. Live in the now.
Yes, the Super Smash Brothers.
That was the greatest gimmick. Oh yeah? Princess Peach as a tramp.
Sega Genesis.
Sega CD. 3DO. Get out.
Dude, you name drop 3DO, and you know what? You deserve to get the steel chair. Concussion or not.
Get out. Okay. No, but yeah. All right, let's get to serious talk because we don't do that very, very much. But yeah, CJ did the writing and for the Wolverine Witchblade. He's gonna do kind of more technical stuff. He's trying to get it moved into his new place as well. So yeah, I told him, yeah, stick with the technical stuff if that works for you, and we'll both work on making sure it shines because that's what we're supposed to do. Oh, yes. The Justice League No Justice prelude in DC Nation. That did set up everything quite well. You should check out the No Justice, by the way, Dave, because basically it's like during the metal event, Kyle I think it was Kyle, kind of accidentally opened the source wall. You kind of get why that's bad, don't you?
Yes, I'm familiar with the source wall.
Yeah. Now you're just trolling.
Isn't that why you allow me to get on the mic?
A good point, but still. But no. Yeah, they tear open the source wall during metal. Source wall's open, death's coming through. Brainiac, yes, Brainiac, hatches a plan. He's got to get everyone to fix this mess. Yes, even Guy Gardner's there like, look. Guy and Hal are both like, look what you did. We can patch this up, right? No, we can't.
It's the source wall. The source. The beginning of all that.
Give me your ring.
You know what? I am making a Mogo-sized rolled-up newspaper, young man, and you're getting hit on the nose with it.
So yeah, that's basically no
and then
justice.
Gardner's gonna rub your face in it.
Oh, and also, just so I don't completely spoil it, Amanda Waller screws up as well.
Of course, because it's DC. We made Amanda Waller skinny and sexy in the new 52. But she's pretty much a raging incompetent now.
She was kind of a raging incompetent when she was big, too.
Not raging. She was
incompetent.
Like one big mistake every decade. Now it's like, oh, it's Wednesday. Time for Waller to fuck something up.
That's what it kind of sounds
Waller screw up Wednesday. Also, tater tots in the cafeteria.
All right, tater tots.
No, seriously, like I mean, that was the thing, is Waller once in a blue moon would screw up, usually because she got too deep into her schemes for her own good.
And she'd screw up big.
Well, that's the whole point, because she had that much power in the government.
She did kind of go in a bit too deep. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, but you would have several stories in the meantime that would center around the fact that Waller is that damn good at her job. That's why she keeps getting it back.
And I got one. Okay. Like I said, CJ's did that story, Moon did Gold Digger. Jeremy, Robin's right. Waller's overconfidence is her downfall, and it is.
Yeah,
she's just kind of like,
you have to have enough years pass between downfalls to rationalize why she has overconfidence to begin with.
Yeah, and you kind of do.
That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with that too. But he's right. Her overconfidence is the one that gets her in a pickle.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. She gets too deep in her own plots. She doesn't realize even she can't dig herself out this time.
I mean, look at the entire run of Damage. You were like, is she making fuck up after fuck up? No, she's just making one giant fuck up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Colonel Jonas created the monster. Amanda's just like, how can I get this to benefit me? Which was her first mistake.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of liked how she, back pre-New 52, how she played the Suicide Squad and the Secret Six off each other.
Oh, yeah.
Including letting Deadshot shoot her and then sitting there in the hospital with her assistant. Her assistant's like, well, how did you know that would happen? Oh, I've been keeping an eye on the Six the whole time. What do you mean? Well, I'm the current Mockingbird. Whoa, wait. You're running the Six without them realizing it. Yeah. You're running the Squad. Yeah. You intentionally had the two of them go up against each other. Yeah. Does your left hand and your right hand even know what you're doing anymore? Of course not. Both tasks are confidential.
Huh. Yeah.
Why? Well, because Deadshot's been paranoid the squad was going to come take him back since he joined the Six. Now he's confident that they can't make him go.
Argus that played a part in damage. Yeah, Argus did.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Even when Waller gets shot, you find out no. She took the bullet because A, she knew she'd survive it, and B, she took the bullet just to make sure Deadshot wouldn't shoot her when she wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just make sure Deadshot's not going to shoot you? It's Deadshot. He's going to shoot me at some point. Oh, yeah, good point.
I just need to make sure it's the right kind of shot. All right.
At the right time, you know?
But yeah, okay.
Shoot him when he doesn't realize I'm wearing Kevlar. Don't let him choose to shoot me when I'm in the shower. But yeah, that's just
Yeah, and he's
that's
like,
just why I don't give too many shits about current DC.
yeah, and he's like, Argus, hiring him. I'm like, yeah, Argus hasn't made their play yet. Yeah, Argus is involved in damage. Argus authorized the damage to be created by Colonel Marie Jonas, but Argus hasn't made their play yet at all. So
yeah,
and it's like, yeah, if Argus makes the play, that's pretty much series over. They're like, yep, time to go back to square one. But no, I do have Jeremy Stanville. He's writing on the 30th anniversary of the Record of Lodos War. He sent me a sample. It's looking pretty good.
cool.
I got Switch is probably. He says he's going to sort through his library, figure out what cheesecake or Eki he's going to write about. Don't worry, we're not going to get hit with Decency Act or none of that stuff. He's like, I know my limits. And then talking to another person, one of the people that I've known within the group, Mariasha. He does Weeb Wednesdays on Maro Media. He said he might do a couple of manga reviews here and there. And I've got Crumple Point, who's a comic artist, and he's going to take us inside the studio, as just so to speak. Start working on that.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, you think about it, when people go through and you do a piece of art, how the heck does it work? What goes into it?
Yeah, I'm more of a writer than an artist side, but I definitely like, oh yeah, if you can show me your, layer by layer construction of a given like cover or something, that's interesting.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I'm a fan of the creation process in general.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're customizing a shotgun, drawing a cover, if you're creating because you're passionate about it, I'm going to be into watching the process.
Yeah. And of course, we're also working with Robin. He's doing, like I say, he's doing more of the modern. I will probably bring one of his articles over, promote his site too, because he does some good stuff as far as his reviews. Yeah. But everyone's like, all right, why have this giant staff? And I'm like, this is what we've talked about doing a lot for this time, is because for a while we were a 2-man operation. And the further we both got in this community, everyone's like, hey, you've got a site? You need a writer? I'm like, yeah, we'll take writers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, and it's probably going to be a good sign off on this note, is ultimately, this is why, even back when all we were doing was the 2-man podcast, we called it Roulette Productions, because we always thought in the back of our mind, if we can tolerate each other and doing anything on any kind of schedule long enough, we want it to grow. We want it to have that potential to be something bigger than the two of us, because there's a lot of creative schlubs out there that need a hand and need a place to hang their hat.
And I see a few more people come in, but I think too, a lot of our people talk about legacy, right? As far as what do
Yeah.
you leave behind, what are you going to leave on this earth? I mean, like I was telling Switch, whenever I signed them on board too, it's like whether or not I get known in the media, and I certainly have done my share with, like you like to make fun of me with Gawker. I know, what was I thinking? At the time, it was, it was a big company. They were fledgling. They didn't quite get into the outing of billionaires like Nick Denton did.
Sometimes you just kind of you got to take the job, take the money, and say, after food, there's enough left over for a little therapy to deal with the regret for how much of a whore I am.
Yeah. Oh. Thanks for that, Anya. See what Anya put? Bendis important. No more Lois and John is like, yeah.
Yeah, good. The kid was an asshole. I'm sorry. They should have stuck with Connor Kent. Nothing wrong with the half clone.
But even then, just no more Lois and John though. I mean, yeah, Lois, it's like, what?
Well, Lois will always wander back.
Okay, let's get into this about Bendis then.
Real quick, because
is it? I said it in the discussion with Switch when we were doing the previews. Does it seem to you and probably me too? Bendis has a problem with heteronormative relationships.
No, I'm not going to say he has a problem with heteronormative relationships so much as I think he's looking at it from the business side, and that is he's trying to convince people who are not heteronormative that there is something in comics for them. But the problem is, because he knows new characters are never going to get a push, he would rather unhetero existing characters. Don't get me wrong. I'll post my own separate Iceman going gay rant later. We've touched on it in private here and there.
Yeah, and it's not
that I'm a homophobe on any level.
And we weren't against it either. It was more the fact that how it got shoehorned in, just kind of like Bobby was always gay. It's like, what?
No, the shorthand to me is that there was way too much continuity arguing the fact that he was always gay. If you had to unhetero him, you should have gone the bisexual route. You still could have had him kissing guys, but it would actually retconned out the stuff that you really can't ignore. But yeah, no, it's I do think it's more of Bendis is desperately trying to appeal to the people that aren't the same heterosexual wasps that have been buying comics for 80 years. Because remember, the first big thing Bendis did for Marvel was create a heterosexual interracial relationship with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Because at the time, that was controversial.
Yeah.
Then when that became okay, that's when he started going against heterosexual relationships. Because, that's what Bendis does. He pushes that social acceptance thing within the books.
But how much
problem is whether he goes about it the correct way.
And on top of that, too, how much longer does Bendis have as far as writing? I mean, be realistic. You think it's going to
Um,
be? Do you think it's going to be this contract with DC? That's it.
unless he can, after DC gets tired of him, unless he goes to Marvel with a absolutely cannot fail to make money proposition, I think he'll be done. I mean, he had a long run at Marvel. If his DC run lasts more than a year, um, I think he'll either be done or he'll have to come up with an idea that. And again, yes, I'm going to dip into wrestling here because that's who I am. An idea so beautiful, even Jim Herd and Vince Russo couldn't fail to see how it would make money.
I mean, that's fair enough. Yeah, Robin's giving him 6 months at least. It's like that's fair. That's fair.
Oh yeah, I would say he's got at least a year at DC because of the delay in showing sales figures and
Okay,
the
yeah,
fact
six.
that his name alone is going to guarantee you 4 or 5 months of solid sales.
Yeah, yeah, and Switch did say that, which our man Joe, he said that that's probably why Bendis is on the Superman books. Name. It might not be the name it used to be, but it's still the name. It's still Brian Michael Bendis. This
Oh
man was.
yeah, I mean that's the thing is,
You can't say.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Anya. There is that's why I'm giving him at least a year because
Yeah. Well,
you're gonna
can it be
have
that
six
bad?
months of solid sales just on the
Can it be that bad?
no, what's the other term I'm looking for? The morbid curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. Almost the
The
train wreck theory.
yeah, that exactly. Morbid curiosity. Stop and see how bad the train wreck actually is.
Look,
Yeah,
glance,
he'll get 6 months out of that easy. So I'm going to give him at least a year. It really just depends on how much he has been sweet talking the eeks there.
and yeah, the Eek himself. That's nah.
If
Bob.
he still has the epic elite prestige level bullshit shift blame game going, yeah, he'll get a couple years out.
And Anya did say, since she knows you're a Slot fan too, Dave. She's giving Slot 6 issues. She's being
I'm
fair.
not even gonna say I'm a Slot fan. I'm a Slot on Spider-Man fan because I haven't read a lot of other stuff he's done around that.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying I'm a fan of that run, and
okay.
really it's only the starting with the Spider-Verse.
Okay, so do you think Anya's fair by what she's saying? 6 issues for Slot's Iron Man before CB evaluates everything.
No, again, I think CB with it being Iron Man, I think Slot will get a full year just because Iron Man as a name alone is going to sell the book for a good 6-8 issues.
And
so it's gonna take time for people to get through the yay, it's Iron Man back in his own solo book. It's Tony as the Iron Man. Yay. That's gonna give you at least 6 months of appreciation from a lot of fans. Just the oh my god, if we don't buy this, they might put Doom or Riri back in the suit. Or somebody else. So yeah, I think he'll get a year. However, if CB has to axe him early, I don't see him giving Dan another big title.
no, neither. And then Feisty is like, she's like, you haven't seen the book, which yes, Yes, Dave, that's the other member of our family, the stream waifu feisty fan.
Yeah.
She's
And that's what I'm saying is.
yeah, she's like, you haven't seen the book, which Feisty does get to see the books early because she is a comic shop manager owner.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is.
Oh yeah, she gets to see.
Yeah, it'll be at least 12 issues before the books gets the axe, no matter how bad it is, just because Tony will keep the sales up for a while.
Yeah, and then once the sales just go.
Yeah, once the Tony
once it does an imitation of Ike from South Park. Yeah. Hey Ike, do your impersonation of David Caruso's career.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you've got to get that Tony's Bat new car sent off, and that takes several months.
Yeah. So, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
The
Ta-Nehisi Coates, Captain America. Nobody's enthusiastic about it. I think issues 1 was. They were like, "This is going to."
Really. We've said this time and time again. I've never been a fan of Cap solo books in general, so I'm not weighing in on this debate.
Yeah.
I just feel that Cap as a character plays better when he has a full team of differing personalities around him.
In other words, you think he's better in the Avengers books, most Avengers books, or any team books?
Oh yeah, I mean,
or even if he has to play straight man to the Punisher.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is you need at least a small team around him of differing personalities and values.
All right, so you think that Captain America is a ping pong character, basically?
Yeah, because I mean, the point is he has such a strong ethics code, and it's the same thing with Batman. He has such a strong ethics code and such a major, metaphorical pillar mindset that you have to have people he can essentially justify himself to.
Okay, that's understandable.
Have him, and that's where a lot of the solo caps on solo, a lot of the runs on the solo cap book have bombed because they have these characters that all they do is blindly follow Cap's way, and you don't have, and for people that don't agree with Cap's politics, they can't enjoy the book. But if you have them on a team book where you have somebody like Tony going, no, seriously, Cap, lighten up. Go call whatever Carter you're hooking up with this generation and, get your candlestick polished, bro, because you're getting out of your element here, and frankly, the stick in your butt's getting a little thorny and sharp. Yeah. So,
Anya put it, she's like, Cap, Thor, and Vision are the characters that are better in teams. Yeah, I agree with her.
And the Thor solo book can work. Keep it focused on the Asgard civilization.
Okay, so like
just Thor randomly wandering around Earth fighting random supervillains, no.
Yeah,
but like the God, I cannot think of his name now.
What are you thinking of as far as villain, other god?
Did the relaunch Thor right after Avengers Disassembled? Did some TV sci-fi work too. Big name.
Oh, Straczynski.
Yeah, Straczynski. His Thor, where he basically rebuilt the whole Asgardian civilization after Assembled's Ragnarok tie-in stuff. That was a great run. because he got down to why we should care about Thor and why we should care about Asgard, and
That's fair enough.
he
That's
made
fair
it
enough.
work. And runs like that, or some of the stuff that immediately followed, um, in just before Jane took over and Thor became unworthy. Those were some good years because they were steeped in Asgard.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree. The Asgard moments that Straczynski did, yes, those were
Yeah.
great.
And the immediate Straczynski follow ups where they kept the same basic tone, yeah, those were great. But yeah, it's when you just throw Thor into random locations and have him fight random people in colorful tights, it's like, yeah, that's when it all dies.
Oh yeah,
Because then
that
he's
was a
just
great.
another strong guy, and that's why
Yeah.
Hercules never got over in the MU.
And yeah, Anya did talk about Stark Resilient involved in New Asgard. It's like, yep, yeah, that was a good part of that storyline too.
Yeah, because that was part of the whole. Yeah, that was part of the whole new Avengers era,
Yeah,
where they were building Tony up.
I there's another character that I was enthusiastic about Punisher as War Machine for a while. I really was.
As a short run thing, it
Yeah,
worked.
yeah, it does.
Like the whole Franken-Castle thing worked as a defined finite um run. Like they knew Franken-Castle was only going to run so long.
which was
They did it.
hilarious.
Yeah, and it worked because the big thing they did is it gave him an excuse to physically rejuvenate Frank to justify his character, even though he's pure human, still being around and still being in his physical prime.
Yeah. Uh, but no, the latest that I saw on Previews World was he's back in America, but now he gets to fight Captain Marvel, and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those. All right, Marvel, we've hit the creative wall, haven't we? And it's like time to swap everyone around again. Uh,
Like this, I think the only reason we should keep Frank Castle around is he makes people like Matt Murdock look lighthearted.
it kind of does. If you think
That's
about
what
it.
I'm saying. He should not have a solo book. He should just be somebody you pull out of mothballs every so often, just to go, yeah, I know that guy's kind of moody and a jackass, but it can be much worse, folks.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I really could. That. All right, all right. It goes like this. Frank Castle is when Conway created him. Conway was like, well, the character was kind of paper thin.
And
Yes, we
again,
know he was
he
paper
was
thin.
created as a short-term Spider-Man villain.
He was, but then it kind of took off because, well, stuff happened, and Ennis kind of made Frank Castle his own mythos, his own character. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand it was the 90s, it was the age of the anti hero. He'd already had a few years there. He was kind of the front runner anti hero. So I get the big push in the 90s, but it's like, seriously, we've grown past people like Frank Castle on a regular basis.
Although
It's like even action movies, even the current gen of action movies, we have better characters than Frank Castle.
All right, I got one for you then. What about those Max books? You know, the ones that I've reviewed. You know, Punisher, the Platoon, and all that. You think stories like that those would work? You know, as far as all right, here's Frank's story. Here's how he got created.
As self-contained continuity,
Yeah, because Punisher Born, Punisher
that's
Platoon, Purgatory is like, yeah, let's not mention that.
Do. That's stuff you can do, but again, it's like, okay, give him a 6-issue mini, give it a year in, off, and then now you can do another 6. Like, you still have to pace yourself with those. But yeah, as self-contained stories, yeah, you can do Frank Castle stuff on a semi-regular basis. But Frank Castle in the Marvel Universe all the time, no, because you can't justify why, since he is so far in the extreme spectrum as a superhero vigilante, you can't justify people like Captain America and Nick Fury putting up with him. And every time you try to claim, well, yeah, it's they could try to take him out, but it wouldn't work, you just make Frank Castle more of what I hate about Batman. A regular guy that can kick the shit out of anybody. And it's like, no, he's not a regular guy anymore then.
Although you have to admit that Tom King has written Batman a little bit better than he's been written recently. Just over the past decade, because he's like, all right, yeah, Batman's a regular guy. He also gets hurt quite a bit.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, no, I'm not saying. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But again, it's especially what you got in about 15 years ago with Batman. Like, and that whole building up to Infinite Crisis era, where it was like, it seemed like Batman was the whole Batman can beat anybody meme.
Oh yeah, those were hilarious for a while.
The
But
problem
yeah, I
is
could
the
see.
DC writers were taking them as their Bible.
Oh, kind of like the Chuck Norris memes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there was an era there where it was like every other issue was, oh yeah, Batman can totally beat the shit out of this entire supervillain team himself, and he doesn't even break a rib. And it's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, but no, I agree, and Tom King has definitely done a better job. What do you think of the wedding, though? You think the wedding's going to stick, or you think we're going to be sorely disappointed, or do you think there will be a bat and cat happily ever after?
Oh, there's definitely not going to be a happily ever after because Batman can't be happy.
Hmm.
Because if Batman is truly happy, he's going to lose that dedication to the cause that makes him Batman. Because remember, that's the whole reason why Dick Grayson became Nightwing and left Gotham. It was, dude, I can't go that far down the rabbit hole because I know love. Like, I'm with Corey. I have the Titans as a family. I can't do what you do because you're so far out there. Even if all crime in the entire world got eliminated, you couldn't pull yourself back from that cliff.
I got a fair one for you then.
So yeah, I mean, I think you could do I think they'll do a cute couple thing for a while, but eventually the relationship's going to fall apart because he's Batman. By the very nature of the character, he's always going to put the cause before his personal happiness.
I'm Batman.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to recommend this week. We're going to sign off on this one, folks. Don't worry. We're going to recommend stuff. Again, we've got a crew. We're going to do some articles coming up. We got some stuff selected for you. Dave is working on the Turtles universe.
Yes.
Of course, Feisty every Sunday she does the final order cutoffs and the ordering. Go check her stuff out if you want inside the mind of a comic shop person, and she's easy on the eyes too. I mean, look, Mary Jane Avatar. Come on.
As long as it's adult Mary Jane, none of that alternate a high school Mary Jane romance comic guy. What was that
Oh,
book called? It was something like Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane or something.
yeah.
Oh, that the art was so bad in that.
I remember that one. Yeah, Feisty and I say we pledged not to mention that one. Yeah, and yeah, Friday mornings, fucked Fridays, which is final order cutoff.
Yeah.
And yeah, Robin does think that maybe if Tom writes it how he's been writing it, then that Batman and Catwoman can separate work from personal life. That could happen too. You never know.
No, not
I
with
mean, Tom,
Batman. You can do it with other superheroes. That's I mean,
all right, but I'll say this: how
I've
many?
always said people like
What do you think, like Superman and
oh yeah,
Flash?
I never had a problem with Clark and Lois being married because to Clark Kent was the man and Superman was the job.
Yeah. And
If you look inside the mind of the Batman is who he is, and Bruce Wayne is the cover identity.
okay, fair enough. Oh yeah.
You know, and that's my point. It's not that you can't have a superhero with a healthy, long-lasting marriage. It's that Batman can't as an individual.
Yeah, and it could be that too. Batman is his legacy. I mean, yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah,
So someone else would take the mantle.
yeah, and that's what I loved about the Batman Forever continuity is he let Terry take up the mantle, but he's still Bruce. He was watching the kid every step of the way.
Yeah. Okay. What else am I going to pimp? Horse Comics division. He does his regular stuff. I love comics. Old man comics in his news. Uh. Oh man, there's so many people to pump up too. Mariasha does Marrow Media, Weeb Wednesdays, which means tomorrow. He does have his Weeb Wednesday stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, our buddy Weaponized Nerd Rage. He he did a pretty good article about the break in, that comic shop break in. Uh,
Oh yeah.
we've kind of steered away from that a little bit, and it's not because we don't like covering it, but it's because everyone else has done a better job, and we've kind of settled into our niche of, all right, these are comic books that we think you should look at. Here they are. Here they are, pretty little covers, nice story. Go.
Yeah, and I mean, all right. I'm sure I'll write other nerd stuff later.
Oh yeah, and of course,
Especially with my renewed run of Dragon Quest IV, I will probably do something else praising that awesome franchise.
yeah,
At least the core games, you know.
yes, and for those who haven't gotten to meet Dave too, Dave is kind of a comic book and anime manga person. He can go either side.
Oh yeah,
He is the
I do
versatile
the
nerd.
comics. I do the anime. I do certain aspects of video games. I'm not a full blown MLG MMO guy.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Uh,
I'd have to re-examine our friendship if that happened.
Dude, the only thing I could possibly ever think about trying to MLG is
Maybe Shovel Knight.
oh god no, some of the precision jumping with the alternate characters is
Yeah, I know who your least favorite is.
ridiculous.
You dislike Donovan, don't you?
No, it's not that I dislike them. It's just I don't have the patience to learn the control scheme all that perfectly.
But
MLG.
are you Plague Knight for life?
No, I mean I like original Shovel Knight. Plague Knight's better, but
No,
I mean, really, none of the alternate PCs and the DLCs. I just haven't focused enough on that game to really get good at them.
Oh,
Shovel Knight is easy to play because of the way the character was built.
yeah.
So, but
I'm also
no. The only thing I could possibly attempt to MLG would probably be Chrono Trigger, just because I can replay that thing over and over again. I could so get all my characters max statted, and
yeah.
I would speed run that game without doing the exploits to skip major chunks of it. You know.
Oh,
but yeah, because I'm sorry, I'm not an exploit guy.
Yeah, I'm reading.
If you're skipping large chunks of the game, then
oh yeah, I've seen that.
I'm sorry, your speed run's cheating. It's one thing to use the warp pipes in Mario Brothers.
Yeah, because they put that there on purpose.
But even then, I would give your speed run an asterisk. It's like, okay, this is speed run using warps. This is speed run playing every level.
It's that's what they do percentage.
Yeah, that's my point. You have to categorize it if it's a game with
because they've got 100%. Yeah, they got 100% runs, any percent runs, which
and that's what I'm saying. But no, the things where it's like, okay, we're gonna do this crazy, insane sequence of movements and button input that confuse the game's programming.
Yeah.
So we can skip all storyline scenes.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. At that point, you literally broke the game. It's not a legit run.
Yeah, it's a glitched run.
Yeah. Same thing with like the sequence breaking Metroid.
Yeah.
If you're skipping a third of the game and not getting major weapon upgrades, then it's a broken run and I have no use for it. Right. It's not impressive at that point.
All right. So yeah, let's depart on that. Let's take our bow. Tell everyone good night. But yeah, RouletteProductions.com. That's where you're going to find all of us. Again, we've got. Let me go down the list yet again. Myself, Dave, Moon. Switch is coming on board. I got CJ, which we know is the Nerd Waffle. Jeremy Storm, known as Rabbit Sensei Gaming, he's going to do his weave stuff. Crumple Point is going to give us Behind the Artist Studio. And then I'm talking to Mariasha. He might do some anime manga stuff. Either way, it's we've been growing thanks to all of you. We've been growing. Yeah. And yes, we do like to read the good books on you. We really do. We thank you guys. We love you, crazy people. Have a good night. And, the Bill and Ted thing, be excellent to each other because, we haven't done that in a while, have we? Good night, everyone.
Good night.